Are you a busy working mom? Maybe you are growing your own business. Maybe you're in direct sales, or maybe you're punching the clock for a corporate employee and living your dreams. Today, I want to talk to you about how to create a morning and evening routine that gives you the energy you need throughout the day and also helps you to be able to infuse what you need so that you can give everything else to others. I know you have a lot of demands. I know that you're running around with kids and partners and spouses and friends and keeping bosses happy, teams happy, and everyone around you is relying on you to have the energy you need through the day to get everything done. But I also know that if you aren't intentional about refueling and filling your own well, you will feel like you're running on empty all the time. So my Power Up and Power Down is one of my favorite success principles. In fact, I encourage every single one of my clients to do this as at the beginning of any of our coaching contracts. I know that this changes the game. It has changed me over time, and I can see the ways this simple success tool has changed the business for me as well. So at the beginning of the day, I want you to think about how you can start your day that matters. Now, my Power Up routine includes 3 or 4 tasks and ideas that get me focused for the day and also help me to feel like refueled and like a human. I will wake up in the morning, I'll say, hey, today's gonna be a great day, or I do a make it happy exclamation that's like, oh, Michelle, you're in a rocket. Just something that gets me pepped up and excited. There's no one else doing that for me, but I can do it for myself because that's what I need to get excited and to move forward. Whether it is a happy day or a sad day or anything else, I try to start with something for me where I say, I am in for you, Michelle, to rock this day. And you can do the same. The second thing is I will get up and do something physical. This is not when I do my exercise time, but this is something that I need to do to wake up. So I will either walk to the bathroom and get a drink of water, or run in place for just a minute just so that I'm awake, so that I don't sleep through the rest of my morning routine. I do my exercise later, but something physical to get that mind-body connection so that I am awake for the rest of it. The third thing that I do is I will review my goals and make sure that I have blocked out time in the day to do something that moves me closer in those goals. Now, typically I do that in the evening, and I'll tell you a little bit about that, but this is just where I'm making sure, yes, this is the task. This is the task. These are the 2 things that need to get done to move me forward. 1 or 2 things that I know are gonna focus on my goals and my responsibilities, regardless of anything else that comes in the day, and I focus there. The next thing that I do is I read something motivational, inspirational. I have a couple of books by my nightstand where I can just read a chapter or 2. Success Principles by Jack Canfield, something that I love from John Acuff. I keep a few books by my nightstand just to read something that helps me feel like I'm fueling my mind, fueling my brain, and fueling my energy, and making time for that because I love it. I love always keeping my mind fresh. I love looking for new strategies and ideas that keep me going. I love books that keep my brain in the positive space. And so I make sure I block out some time for that every morning. And I do all of this before I check my phone. I know that sounds like a foreign idea, and there are certainly times where I forget and I grab my phone first, but I have tried to commit to my morning routine to being about me long before I get caught up in anyone else's priorities, anyone else's texts or requests, anyone else's email needs from me. I make sure that I've got this block of time at the beginning of my day to help set me up to succeed and to put my brain space in the right space to serve everyone else around me that needs or that comes my way. I love the idea of this being a power up, and I tell myself, hey, Michelle, this is your power up time, and I allow myself to get energy. I love the quote by Brendon Burchard, the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates it. And you are the power plant. Yes, I know that with lots of demands or maybe even health challenges, you might feel depleted at times, but there still are things within your control that will set you up to succeed, to start your day with you, and to be able to have the power to draw on for the rest of the day. Now, at the end of the day, my power down is just as important as my power up, and in some ways also more. I have had times over the years where I have struggled with insomnia, especially because my brain runs and wanders, and I've got different business strategies, different tactics, projects, client projects, upcoming speaking engagements, and often I have a hard time sleeping. If I can do my power down routine consistently, it's so much easier for me to turn my brain off, put my brain to bed, and be able to get restful sleep. Now, I'm not a doctor, so if you struggle from sleep issues, I hope that you'll get the help that you need, but maybe this is something that you can try that will help you turn your brain off, especially if you've got lots going on, lots of concerns, and lots of things that you're thinking about, so that you can put them in their proper place, put your thoughts to bed, and then put yourself to bed. So my power down routine includes writing in my gratitude journal. And this is something I do physically. I don't just type it into my phone, but I physically write down the things that I'm grateful for from the day. It can be really great to focus on what went right instead of what went wrong, especially as I'm getting ready to go to sleep. It's super easy to go, well, that project went bad, or the deadline didn't get met, or the client was unhappy, or I've got all of these things that need to happen, or somebody yelled at me at the grocery store. And if I'm focusing on only the negative, then it's really tricky for me to turn my brain off. When I focus on the positive, I can say, hey, at least these good things happened, and there's something that shifts in my brain that makes a big difference. I remember when I started doing my gratitude journal about 25 years ago in the middle of really tricky things. And I remember thinking, this can't possibly solve all my problems. And while it didn't solve my problems, it changed the way I approach them, and it allowed me to look around and to focus on the good. I know the world is tricky. I know the world is weird. I know that business has its own ups and downs. And being a woman with many demands, that can also be tricky as well. But I also know that if you put some little pieces in place, you will feel like you're more in control and you're less at the whim of everyone else. And knowing and focusing on the things that worked matters. The next thing that I do is I review my time schedule for the next day. I look at my daily, weekly, monthly tasks. I make sure they're blocked off. I make sure I've got time for a breather for myself somewhere in the day for a break. I make sure that I have time blocked off for the one or two tasks that I want to do to move my goals forward in the day. That is my golden time. And I do not move that for anything, because my goals matter, my dreams matter. And even with all the other demands from a team and kids and everyone in between, I know that my goals and dreams are important, and I need to make those things happen. So I make sure that time is blocked out. I review anything else that needs to be done. And if I've got a hair appointment at 1 or at 2 p.m., then I'm not lying in bed thinking, what time is that appointment? I know I am ready for the next day. And then I also, after I review my time map and I know that I've got my goal time scheduled, I will, again, read something inspirational, motivational. I do spiritual connection at this time for me, and whatever that looks like in your own practices. But that connection for your mind is important. While you can do it in the morning, doing it in the evening as well will also give you that bookend approach. And then finally, make another exclamation. You start your day with you and end your day with you. Michelle, good job. You did not hurt anyone today. Even if that's the best I can say, or hey, Michelle, you rocked it, or you got that new client, whatever it is, focus on that one great thing that you can give yourself, that make it happy exclamation at the end of your day. And then you'll be able to easier put your mind to sleep and prepare for the next day. These two simple principles, while I know they sound so easy, and it can feel like, well, I don't need to do that. That just sounds way too easy to make it work. However, as someone who has had a power up and power down routine for the last 2 decades, I can tell you that this is the one that I notice the most when it's lost. When I go on vacation, or if something crazy happens at home, or my routines get off balance, I will often forget this for 3 or 4 days, and I will get in a funk and I will say, what is going on? And then I remember my power up and power down have been forgotten. They've been put in a drawer and not prioritized. And I know that I need to focus on me so I can focus on everyone else. It doesn't have to take forever. In fact, I'm doing somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes in the morning and 10 and 15 minutes in the evening. It doesn't take long to make you a priority, but it makes all the difference. I am cheering you on in the many responsibilities that you have and your roles and goals as well. Make it happen.